Okay, my name is Tom Stone. Originally I was born in Philadelphia, raised in Philadelphia, went to high school and college in Philadelphia, LaSalle, and went up to New York. I studied political science at NYU in grad school, and went back to NYU to get my MBA in finance. Right after I got out of school, at my MBA, I worked for Scott Paper, which is in Philadelphia. And so I spent about 2.5 years there. I was a financial analyst. A lot of financial analysis had to be done. They were making investments which could cost $500 million. So it was pretty rigorous financial analysis actually you had to do. Really working in a cubicle, 8-10 hours a day, working with other people as well. In some cases they were product managers. I left Scott Paper to go up to PepsiCo, and I worked at their corporate headquarters, Pepsi's corporate headquarters. This is kind of a big deal. I literally worked on the floor where all the executives were for the Pepsi-Cola company. While I was there, I don't know if you've heard of the name John Sculley. John Sculley, you've heard of Steve Jobs? Steve Jobs hired John Sculley in the mid-1980s to be the CEO of Apple Computers. So John Sculley was actually head of the president of the division I worked for. So I would write in memos from time to time, not that I really worked with. For a while, John Sculley actually went to the board and got Steve Jobs fired from Apple. That was my sort of brush with fame. So we would go in, my group would go in and do evaluations of what that business is worth. So we look at how many cases of soda they had, what was the growth in the population, things like that. So we anticipate we would try and do an analysis to determine what that business was worth. So I worked there, as I said, for about 3.5 years. Again, it's largely doing financial analysis. And then I wanted to come back to Philadelphia because I was up in the New York area. So I took a job with a company called, you probably heard of, called Nutrisystem. I was director of finance there. It was a very fast-growing company. It was growing about 50% a year, enormously profitable. And I worked there again for about 3.5-4 years, and the company was growing. To give you an idea, the year I started, it was around $200 million in sales. 3 years later, it was $600 million in sales. And the profit margins were really strong. So I was involved in that growth. I learned a lot in that growth, but it was actually one of those fascinating businesses to work in. I really learned a lot in 3.5 to 4 years, so as much as I ever learned in getting my MBA. But as quickly as that company went up, it started getting hit with a lot of lawsuits. Word got out that this company was doing very well financially. Lawyers started suing. I started to see, at that time I was director of finance and treasury, and I could see that we're running out of money. So I made a change then. So I left Nutrisystem to go to a company called Shared Medical Systems. This is 1991, probably $700-800 million. And I was basically at that company from 1991 till 2014. Because what Shared Medical Systems does, it provides software and IT services for hospitals, basically. It's financial and clinical software for hospitals. They develop it and they install it. So I started there in 1991. Again, I was manager of finance. And in 2000, Siemens, one of the largest companies in the world, it's like a German GE. What we did is we developed budgets, financial budgets. And I really enjoyed working for every company I worked for, yeah. I always found it to be challenging. I enjoyed teaching as well. For fun, I run a lot. I actually run the Boston Marathon every year. I've been doing it for a long time. I love working with students and helping them get into their careers. I think from my work experience, my academic background, it's sort of a nice combination to help students.